You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You've seen that seeing is believing. Your ears and your eyes will be bleeding. Please check to see if you're still breathing. Hold tight, cause the show is not over. If you will, please move in closer. You're about to be bowled over by the wonders you're about to behold here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want it? Do you need it? Let me hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want it? Do you need it? Let me hear it.
Welcome everybody to Off the Ropes, your official wrestling talk show of the Official Wrestling Museum. I am your host, Angel.
I'm the Pepple.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start this show off. A lot of people know, and you can probably figure out that we record this show. But coming here today, we found the news that Vader has passed away. This is an individual that I've had the honor to work a few shows with, even take him to the airport. Unbelievable gentleman, about his family. He loved the business. He talked to me about the mask. In fact, the big giant black mask from Japan. This is something that has to be mailed to each event. And it'll cost over $100 to mail it. It's very heavy. It's really caught us off guard. So by the time the show airs, it'll be a little bit later. But obviously this is how we record. And our thoughts and prayers go out to him
And the family.
and his family and
Definitely,
his friends. And Alabama Doink also passed away as well too. He actually worked for WWE. In a six-man tag. It was him, Eugene, and Kane against Umaga, Viscera, and Kevin Thorne back in 2007. And he was definitely one of the most recognizable Doink the Clowns that bought the Doink gimmick out in the U.S. So our thoughts and prayers go out to both of them. Fast shout out. The first day this show is, my 4-year-old will be 5, so happy birthday, Rain. And my oldest graduated 4th grade, so I'm very proud of you. And my son Brett decided to hit me over here with some popcorn earlier. So it was a great day today, minus the passing of Vader. A lot of great things have happened in professional wrestling lately. We have Money in the Bank winners. Alexa Bliss won the briefcase, cashed it in right away. The new women's champion 3 times for WWE, for Raw, 5 times altogether under the brand of WWE with NXT SmackDown. So hats off to you. Braun Strowman won the title, the briefcase. Why, I have no idea. He does not need the push. He does not need an open invitation to take on Brock. Braun is just somebody that should just...
I think it just goes down to, what was that, WrestleMania, that he was pushed so far and then he lost in the end. I think a lot of people were mad about that, myself included. This humongous beast of a man, this monster, gets this huge push all the way to go to the title, and everybody's expecting this monster to win it, and they let it drop.
Well, and I agree with that, but at the same token, he also won the greatest Royal Rumble. They gave him a huge trophy. They gave him a belt that they've never shown again or mentioned again. And then now he's going to have a briefcase. Braun is somebody that should just automatically be in the spotlight, should have a title belt. He shouldn't have to wait. He should be able to get on TV and just call Brock week after week after week to get Brock to say okay. It's not
kind of like Cena did with Undertaker.
Right. It's different if, like, say, Ziggler was calling him out. You know what I mean? Like, it's something. And Ziggler winning the Intercontinental title too. Hats off. I love it. So figures are us this week coming. We are going to talk about a lot of great things as well too. This week we're going to be talking about LJN figures, so make sure you guys tune in for that. And get your questions into us in the Q&A. You can send it to theofficialwrestlingmuseum.com or to our Twitter account at wrestling_museum. Just drop the G in that. Each week we like to focus on a couple of great different items of the museum. One item right here. That's the microphone. Is a picture that's signed. It's an event card. This card here was from Poughkeepsie. It was a couple of years ago. There's over 20 signatures on it. It's number 39 of 50. And this is a pretty cool autograph mat. It's signed by Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Alexa Bliss. Oscar's on it. Elias is on it. He signed the Drifter. This is the very first card that local Biff which is known as now Only, signed it. But this is the only card that has ever had his real name printed on the card. Ciampa is on this card. There's only 3 people on this show that's not on the WWE main roster right now. So something like this is really cool. Items like this you can see on the official WrestlingMuseum.com, which is later here. And another item that we're going to feature, it's not signed, it's not nothing, but it's basically just a pretty cool item. And this item right here, folks, this is just, WWE came out with Grapple gear back in the day. And it was just these odd sets. Sometimes you have a tombstone match. Sometimes you have trash barrel matches. They'll have mattresses in them. Like, it's all kinds of weird things. But this was the cooler one because it was the commentator table.
One match I remember, and now looking at these chairs and everything, is one match. It was my personal favorite. It was the 24-hour hardcore match.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't even go to a hotel. You couldn't use the men's, ladies' rooms, nothing.
Nope.
You'd be attacked. No matter, and anybody could win it. I remember Molly Holly winning it.
Yep, Molly Holly
Yep.
won it. Even Javi Whippleman won it at one time.
Yep. Who held them all? Was it Spike Dudley?
No, I know Crash Holly was up there,
Yeah.
but I believe between Stevie Richards, Raven, and I have to check on the other name.
Okay.
But those were really up there and stuff. But something like this is really cool. If you guys can find something like this at a flea market, at a yard sale, because this is where this stuff will pop up that's in the package, because sometimes people bought them and there were so many, but they were cheap when they came out, and they would just collect them, pick them up because these are rare. And if you can get them signed, it would be pretty cool. Now, the reason why we have this item here today is because not only it's a rare item, but it kind of goes with the theme of the show. And today we're going to talk about some of the greatest commentators of all times. Now, again, there's tons and tons of them, and we're showing you some on the screen. There's tons of different groups and teams that are out there. And one of the names, Macho Man Randy Savage, was a voice that got on there that really wasn't a commentator, but he just added that extra to the show.
Oh yeah, and then just the voice and the tone and who he was rooting for and who he's teamed with on the table also made it entertaining. Just to say an example, you couldn't put Randy Savage, God rest his soul, with Bobby the Brain Heenan, God rest his soul. Those two, we knew not to put those two together.
Right. Very rarely you've seen them at the same time. And
Right. Which
very
is smart,
quickly they separate.
which is very smart on Mr. McMahon's point.
Right. But there's been a lot of different people. JBL did it when he came in. He was kind of rough around the edges, and then he became a phenomenal commentator. But look at, you have Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Dusty Rhodes even did some commentary. Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Don West, Austin Aries, Tom Phillips, Byron Saxon, Corey Graves. These guys really knew what they were doing. And these are the voices behind the show.
Oh, yeah.
These are the guys that will sit here and bring something to life. So take this piece right here. This is the match. And you're looking at it, and you're watching it, and it's great. And you can see it right now on camera. Wow, this is fantastic. But now here we're the commentators. And ladies and gentlemen, check it out. From Jack's Pacific, from the WWF line, to the Grapple Gear, the commentary seats that has 2 chairs for Jerry the King Lawler and good old JR. Slam your guys right through the tables, because this is where you want to be. Buy this set today and make sure you slam your figures through this table. And that's what commentators are about. Commentators are to bring a product, and that's what TV wrestling is a product, to life, to tell the story behind it, to give you the reason that you want to jump in and tune in every week, to buy the tickets, to buy merchandise. And you have those teams that can pull it off.
One perfect example is good old JR.
Yep.
He was best friends, if not probably brothers, not blood related, to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
And I remember when we first came into WWE, Jim Ross interviewed him and went up to backstage, talked to him, and said, "What kind of guy are you? What do you want from this company? What do you want to get out of it?" And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what you hear on the table. He's a Texas rattlesnake.
Yes.
He's the Stone Cold Stunner, and how he screamed it, and Austin era has begun. You know, and I quote those.
Oh, as my guys might witness, he broke them in half.
Yeah.
Throwing Mick Foley off the cage from Undertaker. Oh, this is going to be a slobber knocker.
Yep.
These catchphrases are what made you remember.
Yeah. But you can't think of only one. There's always 2 to the table, or 3. my personal two favorites of all time has to be, God rest their souls, Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan together.
Oh yeah.
Those two, you can watch the match, but you also, as a comedy show, listening to these gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
Just, I remember something that Bobby the Brain Heenan said, or something about in WrestleMania, and Gorilla Monsoon just turned around and said, "Would you knock it out?" And they went back and forth like brothers, it's.
You need to have that heel and you need to have that face to tie it together.
Yep.
And I think that's a little bit tricky now because they have 3 people at the table, so it's kind of hard for them to play that aspect in. And Michael Cole seems to kind of be the more factive guy.
So you
but
got
back
a
in the day,
heel, face, neutral.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. But even with Jesse the Body Ventura with Gorilla Monsoon, these guys made commentary. They
Right.
actually brought a whole new genre
Yep.
to professional wrestling because now they're giving you reasons to watch.
Right.
And it's just, JR became so respectful. He became an office person,
Yeah.
agent of his own. He was a development individual that brought talent into the business. And his catchphrases and wording, Austin's stopping a mud hole in you. These are things that he just said, hey, this is what's going to push this guy.
Oh yeah.
But talking about guys like Bobby the Brain Heenan, this is somebody that just off the top of his head.
Oh, yeah.
There was no scripts back then. During a match with Undertaker, WrestleMania 8, between him and Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby says, "Come on, ref, 1, 2, 3, 4." Gorilla says, "What are you doing?" "I'm showing you. The ref couldn't break the hole. He must be afraid of the monster. Why don't you go down there and ref?" "I'm needed here." Bobby was a way to turn around and get that heat on a referee.
Yeah.
And then when he's called as buff, this is my job. I remember back in 1992 at the Royal Rumble, he sold Ric Flair like no tomorrow.
Jeez.
Ric Flair was already going to be a big name coming in. He was already a champion. They were going to strap their title belt on him, but they needed to put him over. He was number 3 in the Rumble, and Flair, he would have been great anyway because he's like already a great individual.
Right.
But as for Bobby the Brain Heenan, Bobby just put him over like crazy. It was just unbelievable.
And just imagine Bobby the Brain Heenan just traveling with Ric Flair, knowing him personally at the same time, even backstage. Not even talking about wrestling or the business, just talking personal. What does he want with his kids? How's his kids doing? How's his wife? You have to know. If you decide to jump into the WWE and you want a career out of it, there's a lot of homework.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't rest. There's no resting when it comes to commentary. It's almost like you're a Vince McMahon of the commentary almost. You
Right.
have to know what you're selling. And
Yeah.
I remember one perfect example was not selling is a wrestler still, Jinder Mahal. He was called out to the ring by Eva Marie.
Yes.
Marie. And Eva Marie messed up his name.
Oh, yes.
Ginger.
Yep.
I personally wouldn't be happy either. I mean,
No.
you're waiting for your name to be counted, who you
Yep.
are, where you come from, And these guys, they don't mess up. And if they do, good old Bobby Heenan's there to correct you or not.
Right.
But if you want to jump into this business, you got to know your homework.
You do. And, this day and age, Vince talks a lot in your ear as a producer talk. So you might be saying something, and then here you have somebody talking in your ear.
Yeah.
Now you have to work that into what you're already saying.
Yeah.
And like you said, you have to have your facts. You
Yeah.
have to be able to just come up with things. And sometimes there's dead air. Like, what are we going to do?
Right.
Bobby the Brain here one time in WCW goes, I know why Hogan gets to the building so early. He thinks he works there. He parks cars for 49 cents. And that's just something he came off with the top of his mind to entertain the crowd, and it got over. It gave enough time to get people to laugh, to get that flow back and forth. And it's just, it's very, he came out with a saying once, they say you can't buy happiness. He says, well, give me a $50 bill. Little things like that will get you over. And Bobby was just that fly by, the scene. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to do my stuff. And Jerry the King Lawler is exactly like him too. I nothing against Michael Cole. I think he's phenomenal. But I think Jerry the King and good old JR made a great team.
Yeah.
And Jerry was known for some great quotes. The most popular one probably from Jerry is puppies.
Yeah, right.
And he had this thing, and he really sold that image of what WWE was trying to bring the females in
Yeah.
in the 90s, early 2000s.
I'm surprised the man didn't have a heart attack sooner in life. I remember that. He used to be crazy about puppies, you know. When Sable took off her robe in that ring and King stepped back bouncing, I thought the man was going to go right there and then.
Oh, yeah.
I just wearing the black latex.
Well, with Bobby the Brain Heenan, though, he was obviously a heel, you know, commentator, okay? But he would stop himself. So he would go so far heel, and then he would go back to just being neutral, kind of.
Yeah.
And Jerry the King said, well, I'm going to be a new age Bobby. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, and where I'm going to be just straight heel. And there was a time Laura said, hey, take my pitch. And Vince says, why? He goes, because you don't want to waste your film on Adam Bomb. Okay, so now it's like, okay, wow, he was really a heel. Oh, I cheer for the Grinch when he stole Christmas in the Grinch's movie. Okay, that's straight heel. And more he started talking like this, he was able to get the crowd to really, really hate him and really hate the guys he cheered for, which were the bad guys.
Right.
Which, in results, the heels in the ring didn't have to worry about interacting with the crowd anymore because they were cutting away from that stuff, and they were able to just let Jerry talk and get the heels to be great. And that's why there were so many heels in the late 80s, the late 90s, early 2000s, because Jerry was selling the heels so phenomenal.
Now, in your opinion, do you think we'll ever see a female commentary full time? I mean, Renee Young, she's more of a Mean Gene Okerlund, I believe.
Right. I think it's coming. I think they were trying to push Lita into that role a little bit, and they decided to back off of that. Beth Phoenix did, I believe it was the Mae Young Classic this round.
Yeah.
I know she was a part of a tournament thing, and they're talking about bringing her in. I think it would be a good idea to do that. Triple H is supposed to be doing another huge announcement for the women's division, which I really hope that it's going to be a tag team title for them. So I do see it coming in. I don't think it would be a bad thing. I think it would definitely bring a lot of different atmosphere to it. And I think that's where it's going to be something worth watching.
I think so. I hope so.
You know, I know my wife and I went to WWE when they were at the Civic Center, and we do a lot of networking with the museum. We know a lot of the different workers from, you know, I've been working for nearly 20 years. And we were inside and stuff, and we're watching the show, and it was entertaining. It was good. It was actually the day that Stephanie was announcing the battle or the Royal Rumble. So history was being made there, but there was no commentating, and it's just like, that takes a lot away from the show.
Yeah, you don't get a commentary when you're live.
Yeah, and it's just, you want to have that commentary, you want to have that feel.
Right.
Commentators bring a lot to the business. Have respect for them because it does take a lot to do that. They're the first ones in at a show every day. Michael Cole is the first one pulling in that driveway, the last ones to leave. You know, and like I said, it's been great. And my hat's off to also CM Punk too. Because CM Punk, when they did that whole walkout show a few years ago, he did the own commentary because there was only 3 people. So they had 2 working, 1 commentator. And Punk was just phenomenal on that itself. So commentators of professional wrestling.
I wonder if he's still mad that somebody spilled his Diet Coke.
Knowing him properly. So another thing we want to touch on a little bit, speaking about Diet Coke and spilling drinks and stuff, Big Cass has been released by WWE. There was rumors because he went off script. I'm hearing because he decided to have a little too much fun when they were on the European tour. And he actually broke a door down. I believe it was a tour bus they were on, possibly. I'm not too sure. But other passengers couldn't even use the bathroom anymore because he thought it was a prank. And just Vince just didn't like the character of that, you know, of how he was. He was with the company for nearly 7 years. He's out there now. There's a lot of big giant talks. Hey, is it going to be something, or is it not going to be? You know, with him and Enzo. Enzo's doing some great things. You know, we have a running gag here. We did an online show for quite some time, and the online gag was they wanted me to do something. And I said, hey, you have to give me cheese balls in order for me to say this. So the next time we went, you know, the next taping we did, they had cheese balls in our meeting room, in our green room. Every week they always did that. Well, because we started talking about cheese balls here, they decided to make it a little funny for us. So we have a bucket of cheese balls, folks. And they said because we got on them last week, because we didn't have all the information that we could have had for a certain topic, that they're going to allow us to pick each week's show out of the cheese ball container. So you fans know what we're going to do. I guess this is their new way of saying that, hey, this is entertaining. I have no idea. So I'm going to let you put your hand in it first this week because I'm not too sure how clean they did this. So if it smells like cheese, at least I'll make sure they clean it for next week. Okay, I guess this is the high-tech security too.
I know, right? That little paper
So
clips.
next week we are going to have a full episode on the Hardy Boys.
Okay.
So next week's show is all going to be about Matt and Jeff. That's really great because actually going into this next part of the show is about our Hall of Fame movement, which talks about bullying, which talks about saying no to drugs, which talks about the Smile Up Challenge. All you do is smile with your thumb up. Spread more smiles than hate in the world. We got a great response from on our website about this. So we're gonna re-show our video here. We hope everybody enjoys the video, takes part of the video, spread more smiles than hate in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the Hall of Fame movement from the official Wrestling Museum.
My best friend gave me the best advice. He said each day's a gift and not a given right. Leave no stone unturned, leave your fears behind, and try to take the path less traveled by. That first step you take is the longest ride. If today was your last day, and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Would you live each moment like your last? Leave old pictures in the past. Donate every dime you have. If today was your last day, against the grain should be a way of life. What's worth the prize is always worth the fight. Every second counts, 'cause there's no second try. So live like you've never lived it twice. Don't take the free ride in your own life. If today was your last day, and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Would you live each moment like your last? Leave old pictures in the past. Donate every dime you have. And what you call them friends you never see. Reminisce on memories. Would you forget your enemies? And would you find that one you dream in us? Swear up and down to God and love. That's you finally fall in love. If today was your last day, if today was your last day, would you make your mark by mending a broken heart? You know it's never too late to shoot for the stars, regardless of who you are. So do whatever it takes, 'cause you can't rewind a moment in this life. Let nothing stand in your way, 'cause the hands of time are never on your side. If today was your last day, and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday? Or would you live each moment like your last? Leave old pictures in the past. Donate every dime you had. And what you call on friends you never see. Reminisce on memories. Would you forget your enemies? And would you find that one you dream of? Swear up and down to God above that you finally fall in love.
We hope everybody enjoyed that little video that we had. Please take part of it. If you got any questions for our Q&A show coming up on Figures Are Us this week, send the questions into the officialwrestlingmuseum.com or tweet us at wrestling_museum. Just drop the G in it. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Vedas family and the Alabama Doink. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this week. Again, it's an honor to provide you with this bit of information. Thank you to the crew here. You got anything else to say, my man?
No, we pretty much covered it up. And just to let you know, Cass, good old McDonald's, Burger King, they'll be hiring through the summer, my friend. So good luck.
Check us out next week as well, too, as we talk about the Hardy Boys. Check out the officialwrestlingmuseum.com. Thank you guys very much. See you at Figures Are Us.